Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's try to create a beer glass. I have several challenges in this whole work process. One is we have to achieve the frost condense effect and the water dripping on the glass. And I've also created the fizz in the beer, and also I have the foam on the top, which I've actually achieved through the model. So if you could see, I have got the particles here, which I have created for when I just play. You could able to see that whole fizz fills up the glass. The whole process starts from modeling and doing the basic shading, adding some dynamic effects, and most of the thing is achieved using shading and lighting. Firstly, let's model the beer glass. So I'll be taking a CV curve tool. Okay, I'll be taking the 3 cubic curve and then start tracing out this reference here. So the ground should be like flat, so I'm going to use this point a little bit up, okay, and then start placing this like that, and from there I'm going to trace the glass. Make sure that you are using a very limited number of points, because too many points can give me a rigid effect, so that's really important. So we can generally trace out this further in and achieve the thickness. The base of this beer glass is too thick, so I'm going to trace that, okay, and then just start placing the points almost at the same place so that you get the correct contour. I'm slightly going here and there, it's okay. I would like to just close it here and then lastly snap it there, the center. Now this is the curve which I'm going to model it into the glass. So I'll be selecting that. I'll be using the surfaces revolve tool. Okay, so revolve tool defaultly gives me a NURBS model. I'll be taking a polygon model here. For that, I go to the polygon section, enable polygons, and then choose quads, and then tessellation type should be general, and then you type per span number of isoparams. Even I'll set that in the V type also, and then apply revolve. So you got this model. You can select the tessellation option, and then you can go to the general tessellation and then start increasing or decreasing the subdivisions as per the requirement here. Okay, so I'll be just checking out this model here on the top. I could see some sort of roundness, so I'll be selecting the vertex points and I'll be moving this. So this is the model what we have got here. So we'll be modeling the liquid also. For that, it's I'm going to take the same model. I'm going to duplicate this, okay, and hide the first one, and I'm going to select the outer line, convert selection to faces, and then start growing this faces there. Okay, so I'll be selecting that all the way, and I'll be deleting that. And let me select till where this beer is looking, and then I'm going to select that line, okay, extrude it, and then slightly scale it there, extrude it and merge to center. I'll be adding a line here also so that it preserves that corner. I'll go to the mesh display and then apply reverse, and then you get this one. Okay, bring up this model here. Maybe you can select this all faces, and then you can use this transform component tool and then just select that in the Z axis and then slightly move it or penetrate within the glass. Okay, and we have that value here. If we are not okay, then you can just reset that to 0 again. Okay, local translation Z, or I'll just do it later if required. So if I apply my smooth, this is what we get in terms of model. Now I'm okay with the model here, so let's do UV unwrapping and then do the basic shading. So I've done the UV unwrapping of this glass here, and I have just compromised on the scale aspects. The reason is I just wanted to use maximum of this UV space. and this is the inner side of the glass, and this is the bottom ones. So I don't really want to, and there's no texture there, so it's a shader based work which goes on there. So I just mainly focused on this area. So I scaled up this particular patch, and then I've just created I pasted a logo here, and this is what going to be applied on the model. And I'll show you the final images which I'm going to use. One is the color map, the other one will be the mask, which is going to make things transparent in one area and opaque in another area. So I've just created a simple background here. This is a plane. I used curves and then created using the loft tool, and then we got the model. I've set up the camera here, which is going to frame like this. Okay. So for the background, I've assigned the basic AI standard surface shader, and for this one I'm going to assign AI standard surface shader again, and let's name this as the glass shader. Okay, and then I'll just set up this to perspective 1 view, and then we have this diffuse color option. There I'm going to connect the file there. Okay, so we have the beer glass underscore color.png. It's a white image with the logo sitting on top of it. I'll just open it up, press 6 on the keyboard to see the placement of that particular logo. Somehow I feel this logo is looking quite big. I'll just scale down and then reload it. So I've scaled the texture, the logo size, and you should be able to see the placement here. I'm okay with what I've got right now. So let me just put up simple lighting here. So go to the perspective view, and then go to the Arnold, and then just choose area light. So basically this is cylinders in shape, so I'm going to place the light facing them. Okay, like that. So let me just set up my camera view, and exposure I'm setting it to 10, and then let's have a render on this. So I can just increase the exposure, so I'll put it to 15, way too much. Let's put it to maybe 13, that should be fine. So this is one light, and the more lights you place, the more highlights you get. So I'll rely on area light setup only. So I'll be duplicating this, and I'm going to rotate this like that. Okay, so let's render it again, and then you should be able to see that highlight forming on this side. I'll reduce the exposure value to 10 or 11 should be fine, and that creates slight shading on this model. However, we are doing a transparent object, so it doesn't really matter for us. The only thing which we are focusing on right now is the highlights on the glass here. Okay, so let's select the glass model here, and in the glass shader we have the transmission area. Okay, so I'll increase the transmission by which actually the whole object will be rendered like this. So far we are getting the glass look, but what we will do is the white color area is making objects transparent, and black color making it opaque. So our map should be reverse of that. We can do that from the image itself. So I go to the file and then choose the transmission PNG there. Okay, so let me go to the effects, and then we have this option called invert, and let's see how this is going to work. I need to close this and open. Let me open the hyper shade and bring up that shader here. We will hide this inner object and then see what's really happening here. Yeah, things are coming up, but the thing is transmission has made the color also shaded. Let's see what can be done here. So we have the transmission image. I'm going to break the connection and then connect it to this one rather, and then select the shader and then make it white, and then see what we get here. So instead of connecting it to the color, it is better to connect to the weight so that you get this values. So the thickness of the glass can be controlled by the IOR value. So IOR value of glass is somewhere 1.5. So I'll choose that value itself. Okay. So let's explore some more material properties of the glass. So I have got an image here which I have downloaded from internet. This is just a simple dripping condensation water droplets map, and I'll be sharing the link in the description. And here I've brought it in the hypershade, let me just select the glass and assign a surface shader to it. Okay, surface shader is just a flat shader, so I'm going to check this texture over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the surface shader and I'll go to the color, and then I'll use this file, right click as a projection. And the only thing is I just don't want to work on Photoshop or Substance Painter for placing it. Just it's a seamless texture, I would just want to throw it on it just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this image to the projection and delete the file here. Okay, this file came along with that. So once I've deleted that, I'll go to the projection and then just say interactive projection. Let me press 6 on the keyboard to get the textures. I'll be using the cylindrical mapping, and then just select that handle, and then just see how this is really placed on the model. So I've got the texture here, and the only thing is surface shader is just to see how the placement is. And once that is done, bring back your glass shader, which is the transparent thing. Now we have something called a roughness. So let me check the roughness attribute here, and I'll increase the roughness here, and then you should be able to see that object starts becoming more frosted or dry. Okay, and let's see this texture, which is projection. Okay, I'll be dropping this one into the bump attribute like that, and take the bump value of 0.1. And then when we render it, you should be able to see that drips have been achieved here. Okay, so the bump amount sometimes may look too dominating. You can play with the values. Okay, so it should be very subtle, and I like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take color remap node and connect that here, and I'll take the red channel to the specular roughness, and then start re-rendering. I have to worry about the red channel only, so I'll be selecting this region and then just render it like that. So I'm going to select this and swap this one, and then just make it more sharp like that. Now the water looks glossy, and rest of the thing looks dry. So if I just get into the shader, if I select that, roughness value of 1 is way too much. Okay, so let me select that. Okay, just bring this down so you get that roughness cutting down slowly. Okay, you should be able to see that while the drops looks glossy enough. So I can just play with the values and see how much is this going to work for my model. So just let's leave that way for now, because we have to add the bare liquid. And also I'll be selecting the shader, and then the bump value I'll just put it to 0.01 and just keep it very subtle, not too much on the model. That looks okay at this point of time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the liquid geometry, and let's assign a render. Just go for a render there like that. So you should be able to get that nice liquid rendering up. So I'll be showing you how I created this bare shader. Just assign AI standard surface shader. Okay, and then you get this one. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'll be selecting the transmission there and make it transparent. It looks like water, right? Now what I'm going to do is in the color, I'll take this one, and then you get this nice orange color. Now the thing is, we have depth. I'll enter a value of 2. Now what that actually does is, wherever the liquid is denser, there you see a very thick orange color. Where the liquid is not dense, for example, the width of this bare glass is bigger here, and here it's very thin. This is where the colors change. So I'll put the depth to 1.5, and you should see more orange and then light orange there. You can start playing with the color uh, you can just make it more dark or desaturated or yellowish. So see which color suits your requirement. Just pick that one. I'll maybe enter this one to 23, and then let me enter the depth value of 2.5, and that should look fine at this level. Now I'm going to select the glass, okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'll just explore the roughness here. I'll be putting this way, and I just want the drops not to become rough, and I just wanted that to be pretty much clear. As I keep bringing up that, it looks more rough, but as I told, it's way too much, not required. Just I would keep here. Just I want some sort of frost happening there. Okay, that should be fine. So I've got the frost here. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, you can also play with the scale. For example, here, the projection, I'll choose interactive placement and then scale that. Scaling that makes the drops bigger. You can check that by assigning the surface shader. Okay. Like that. I'll hide the liquid here and then start controlling the drop size there. Now I'll assign the glass shader and then just have a look. So just again, it's your priority, like how you wanted this all things to be visible. So I'll just bring back the liquid geometry there, and looks good. Now I have modeled this this piece of object here. It's just a foam, okay? So I'm just trying to create the foam here. So let me just select this foam and then move this slightly down. Just I want it to be penetrated, and then I'm going to assign a shader to it. So I'll be taking a AI standard surface shader. Maybe you can try hiding this both objects and then render this, and you should get this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I will be taking a granite texture. So this is a 3D texture. So granite texture is basically having the filler color, where I'm going to take this one as 50% gray, and the rest of them should be slightly like that. So when I render, you could able to see the model has scaled up. Go to this color balance and then choose this alpha offset to minus 0.5. So it will just bring down that, giving me that nice holes in it. And if you feel these holes are too deep, so you can take a value of 0.3, and half of that is minus 0.15, which will just bring down that holes. Now what I'm going to do is that model will have the subsurface scattering, and I'm going to take some light color, and then you should get this one. Okay, so the scale should be lesser. I don't want the scale to be too deep. Okay, and once that is achieved here, what we will do is we will let me assign again a sample or test just a trial sort of texture. So I'll be breaking the connection there. I just want to test a texture on it. So I go to the color and then choose ramp as the projection, and interactive placement, and then scale it down. And this ramp is what I want here. I can just smooth this up and then give that nice fall off. Now this is ramp number 1. So we have assigned one shader just now. That's the thing. You need to name your shader. So I'll bring up the recent shader. Then we have the opacity here. So I'll take the texture section, drop this one, which is basically projection number 2. So select the shader, and in opacity, bring up this one. So I've adjusted this ramp here, and just I want that sort of blend happening there, and this can be checked. You could see that's becoming more transparent on this side. So I just put it there, and this is what I get right now. Now all good at this point of time. I just wanted to add some fizz in the beer, so I'll be doing that with the dynamics. So let's get into that. So I'll bring up everything here. I'll be creating a container or emitter. So I'll go to the end particles, and it should be balls. Once that is done, I'll just go with the emitter, and I'll be choosing a volume emitter, and I just create that here. And volume type, I'll be choosing the cylinder type, and then scale it like that. Okay, so I'll just put that emitter here at the bottom, and I'll be choosing the along axis option, and then when I hit play, I get the particles emitting like that. Okay, so I'll be selecting the objects here. I'll put it in a layer for us to understand what's really happening there. I'll switch off the texture placement handles here so that I don't see that clumps, and I'll switch off the grid also. Now when I play, I get this, and they are falling like that. Okay, so that is happening because of the gravity. So select the particles there. I'll go to the attributes, and then dynamic properties. I'll say ignore solver gravity, so they don't come down like that. The next thing is I would like to add a field to this, so I'll apply a turbulence field. Attenuation, I'll set it to 0, and then I'll put a magnitude of 10 maybe. And here in the phase Y, I'll create an expression. That's not really important, but expression can just move that noise. It's like phase animation. It just moves the texture. Okay, so let me put a higher number of magnitude and see. Yeah, it's working. So let me just put this to 15. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the emitter, and I'm going to emit the particles to maybe 2000. So get 2000 particles coming out from there. I'll be selecting the particles, and then I will change the particle size to 0.05, or that should be fine. And I'm going to randomize the size there, and then you get this particles going like that. Now the rate is way too much. I'll put it to 1000. That should be fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the model. Okay, I'll select through outliner. I'll select the liquid geometry, and I will make this one as a passive collider, and then let's see what's really happening there. Okay, the phase is filled completely inside that. Let me select the emitter and then just move it and scale it, and then that's I'll scale it further down. Where are these particles? Let me start moving this slightly above and see if yeah, that's a problem. I select the particle and then change the radius of this particle to 0.25, and then you get that. So once that phase has come, I select the particle shading and then choose this as spheres, and I'll be assigning a AI standard surface shader. I'll go to the shape node, and in the Arnold section I'll make this as transparent, and in AI standard surface shader I will increase the transmission value, and then let me bring everything back. I'll just save this file and then re-render the scene, and you should be able to see those fizz in the liquid that looks good, but that looks too big for me. So I'll be selecting the emitter. I'll increase the rate for 2000, and the particle size I'll be reducing it to 0.7, and then I'll render it again. It's almost invisible, and that is because the frost what we have created. So let me put that to 1 and then re-render it. Then you should able to see that fizz there. Okay, I should able to see that dots inside the bottle, that fizz pops. Okay, maybe I can select the glass here, and then I can go to the refraction, just bring it down for some time, and then see the bubbles. Okay, now they're visible, right? So let me select the emitter, okay, and increase this to 4000, and then play it. Make sure that you have set play every frame option so that the particles are well simulated, and once the fizz is formed, then you should able to get that fizz in the liquid. Okay, as the noise samples are looking low, it might show up clumsy, but wait for the full render to happen for it to show up. Okay, so yeah, it's visible, fair enough. I'll select the radius to 0.06. I wanted it to be small, and then I'll set the rate 6000, and this one I'll put it to 5, then play it. Once the phase is filled, you can just check the render. It should be there, but it should not be strongly visible. It should be passively available in it. Okay, now I'm going to select the glass there, and I'll bring up the frost because that's what I really wanted there, and I'll just change the render settings there. Okay, I'll be choosing 1920 by 1080, and I'll increase the anti-aliasing samples to 5 and diffuse samples to, that's not really important. I'll be increasing the transmission samples and triple S samples. Those are really important. Specular samples also. Okay, once that is done, you could also add a light here, but that changes the complete look and feel, so I'll keep it that way. In the light also you have samples, you can increase that, it's already there. So once it is available, let's hit a render. So I'll close and then start the render. So this is the final render what I've got. I've rendered it in the full HD, and I could see some fizz bubbles in the bottle, and I could see the dripping water and that nice foam on the top. Still we can generally use the bubbles and create the foam in a very different way using dynamics, but I hope they should serve the purpose for product modeling and rendering. Hope you guys loved, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section.